Now we're going to take a look at the two-mallet Etude, Presto from Concerto in A minor by Antonio Vivaldi, transcribed by Beth Gottlieb. This piece is from the Baroque era, and what that means to me is that I should play expressively, but not overly dramatic. I'm going to keep a steady tempo, not going to be a lot of push-pull, and I'm going to create phrases and contours within the dynamic levels that are given. There aren't a lot of phrase markings, so you'll have to find the longer lines in the phrases on your own. My recording will be a good guide for my interpretation, but you might make different choices, and that's okay. The mallets that you want to use here, you want to try to find a mallet that has an even sound from soft to loud. Nothing that's too harsh. I'm using the IP300. It's got a rubber core, which means that I get the same contact sound at the soft as the loud. And that's what I want, because this piece alternates loud and soft, sun and shade, and I want the same sound for both of those. I want to hear the articulation clearly. Keep it light. This piece has got to stay light. I use a Gottlieb pulse to help me with that lightness and buoyancy. I'll show you some specific places where I do that. And as far as technique goes, keep your hands low. Make sure you've got some warm-ups where you're working scalar and arpeggiated patterns, because you really need that for this piece. But above all, keep your hands low and keep them on rails, all right? Let's look at some specific places here. For measure 15, this figure comes up a few times. When they're repeated figures, I like to lean into them a little bit. Also, this is the rare moment of double strokes in this piece, but that phrase does come up a couple of times, so just use double strokes to accomplish that. And you can use the phrasing that I just demonstrated there. Measure 20 has the Gottlieb pulse that I was talking about, keeps it light and buoyant. Measure 23 has a sforzando, and this comes up a couple of times as well. I like to create a longer accent there, so a little bit of a diminuendo almost, and that helps to differentiate it from the other accented notes in the piece. A good example of following the contour of the line is in measure 33 and 34, where the line goes down. I'm just going to get a little softer, but stay within the dynamic level. Another moment of a Gottlieb pulse and buoyancy starts at 37. And you'll notice that I tried to play a long line there, a phrase that started high and went low. It's a sequence, or repeated figurations under different pitch levels. You have a trill at the measure before B. That trill starts on the upper note and ends, so upper note E, and ends on the D sharp. And then pickup notes, I play both with my right hand. Slowly, works like that. Let's see, measure 75, another difficult section with this one, the arpeggiated section, is it's that pianissimo, and it's moving a lot. So one of the things that you notice here is I choke up on my mallets. I do that so that the target that I'm trying to hit is closer to my hand. That helps, because these mallets are really made for playing four mallets, so that you can have the range that you need for that. But when you play two mallets, just choke up a little bit, and that makes the targets a little closer to your hands. Stay efficient here by playing on the edge of the bars. There's another great lick in this piece, that little C major lick. And what I did to break that down was I worked it hands separate, hands together. So I took my right hand and figured out what it did by turning the other stick over, and then I found out, and then I could practice that by itself, and then do the same thing for the left hand. It's a great way for breaking down, especially when you're dealing with something in C major. Okay, it's a way to break it down and work hands separate, hands together. Over at 109, another moment of a Gottlieb pulse. Careful that you don't crescendo too early. Wait till 114 to crescendo into letter E. It should sound like this. There's one more thing, which is the section at 85. So what I do here is I push my left hand forward a little bit, so to give myself room to get to these notes. Now my left hand is not in the way. If I was trying to do it this way, I'm going to get all tangled up. So pushing my left hand forward a little bit, but still maintaining a good bar placement there. Okay guys, I hope you have fun with this one. It's challenging, but it's rewarding, and it's really fun to play once you get it up to tempo. Good luck.